Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
I'd like to welcome you all this evening to our CEFP public hearing. It appeared that no one has signed up and wanted to speak, but we'll walk through the process, and at the conclusion of that, then we'll adjourn this session and we'll start our CEFP committee. But I do again want to just extend our thanks to you for coming this evening on behalf of the Board of Education, and we hope that those of you that haven't been involved in the process thus far get something out of it. So thank you very much. And with that, I'll like to introduce Mr. Ted Shriver, Williamson Shriver Architects, and he's going to walk us through the process.
Thank you, Mr. Blankenship. I'll try to make this as painless as possible. First, I'd like to start with the rules of the public hearing that's on the agenda there. The School Building Authority put together this process on the public hearing process. So I'm just going to kind of read from this. The following process has been identified to meet the formal public hearing requirements as a part of the CEFP development. This hearing process has been extracted from the West Virginia Code 18.5.13a, which is a similar process to close a school. The West Virginia statute remains silent on the hearing for adoption of a CEFP. However, extraction of the following process from 18.5.13a represents a good faith effort to assure that everyone in the county has an opportunity to express their opinion regarding the proposed plan. The hearing process should consist of the following: completed CEFP, including development of an acceptable organizational scenario and finance plan. Prepared CEFP document in accordance with the SBA, the State Board of Education Guidelines, Policy 6200, and make it available for inspection in the office of the County School Superintendent during the 2 successful weeks prior to the date of the hearing. Prior to submitting the CEFP, the West Virginia Board of Education, and SBA approval, a public hearing must be advertised and conducted in accordance with West Virginia Code 59.3.1 to provide a broad-based community input into the plan. As a part of that public hearing, the notice will be advertised in a publication of general circulation in the county at least once a week for 2 successful weeks prior to the date of the hearing. Notice shall contain time and place of the hearing. Notice shall include intent of the board to approve the 10-year comprehensive education facility plan. Members of the public shall have the right to be present, to submit statements and testimony, and to question county officials at the public hearing. Public participation. Members of the public may be present, submit statements and testimony. Members of the public who desire to submit statements and testimony shall be afforded with an opportunity to register prior to the start of the public hearing and end it at the start of the public hearing. Persons shall not be permitted to register at any reconvened public hearing sessions. Persons shall be called upon in order of registration. Based upon the number of persons who register, the presiding officer may limit in a uniform manner the time allotted to each individual. However, the time allotted may not be limited to a period of not less than 3 minutes. Registered individuals may not assign or relinquish their allotted time to another individual. As Mr. Blankenship noted, no one has signed to make a public comment. And I'll read the notice of the CEFP public hearing. Ronald Blankenship, Superintendent of Gilmer County Schools, and Ted Shriver of Williamson Shriver Architects will hold a public hearing regarding the Gilmer County Schools 10-year Comprehensive Educational Facilities Plan, abbreviated CEFP. This CEFP is required every 10 years to chart the course of the school system throughout the year 2020 and must be approved by the West Virginia State Board of Education and the School Building Authority of West Virginia. The CEFP will include, but is not limited to, the goals and objectives, the educational plan, the finance plan, and the number of facilities that can be operated within the county budget and meet the educational plan. The hearing will be held on September 28, 2011, 7 p.m. at Gilmer County High School, Glenville, West Virginia. The hearing is being held to give the public Board of Education. The public hearing is being held to give the Public Board of Education on September 14th, and the public is invited to review and submit the written comments and/or will be given the opportunity to speak at the hearing. And that was published on the 15th and the 22nd as a Class 2 legal ad. 2 successful weeks commencing on the 15th and ending on the 22nd. Now, discussions of the CEFP, as it was stated there, we have several things that make up the CEFP document. Those of you that were here for the many CEFP meetings, we had 16, tonight 16, lots of great input, but it started with the educational plan. The educational plan is the driving force, as many of you know. So we needed to make sure that that educational plan was put in place for the next 10 years, looking at the state guidelines and then adopting those based upon what's needed here in Gilmer County. As a part of the process, we would evaluate the 2000 plan, the plan that was adopted in 1999. Part of my services was to do an evaluation and an inventory of your existing facilities, determine the condition of those facilities, determine what was needed to upgrade in those facilities, and chart the course for the next 10 years. School Building Authority retained WVU to review enrollment projections for the entire state. So they gave us those projections for Gilmer County, and then we then took those and developed a formula to determine how those appropriately broke down for each school. From all that information and as a part of those 14 meetings, we then, we as a group, determined how those educational needs needed to be transformed into facilities. We did not do the process opposite, where we looked at facilities and then educational. We started with educational and moved to the facilities needs. As you may recall, for those of you that were at the public forum several weeks ago, there was discussions about a configuration of, and I'm probably not going to say this correctly because there's been several scenarios, but we did have other scenarios that we developed after that public forum. And currently right now, I'll read from the executive summary that contains what the CEFP committee voted and approved on, that is represented in this document. And that reads: Troy Elementary School will close in collaboration with Lewis County Board of Education. The Gilmer County Board of Education will pursue the Troy-Allen Bridge Inter-County Pre-K through 6 elementary school to be located on the Gilmer-Lewis County line on US 33-119. Glenville, Sand Fork, and Normantown elementary schools will close, and these remaining Gilmer County students will be housed in a new Pre-K 6 elementary school, noted as Phase 1. Will be constructed near Glenville, the population center of the county. At a later time, a grade 7-8 addition, which we have called Phase 2, will be constructed so that a pre-K 4 5-8 grade configuration can be achieved.